Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Welcome, one and all. Okay, Carlene Beckford was here first. Thank you so much for being here first. And let's see, Lynn E has a super chat. World Mental Health Week starts tomorrow. Are you okay? Remember to ask someone this week that mental health check questions. Are you okay? Thank you so much for that reminder. Thank you so much for the super sticker. And thank you for being here tonight, as well as being a member of Royal Sussex. Thank you so much for that. But yes, thank you. That's a good point. This starts at for some of y'all, it's Monday already, isn't it? So it's not too early to ask, are you okay? And I am very big about taking care of one's mental health. I myself have taken a mental health break, um, from people at different times that I just don't have that to give. And it doesn't mean that there's not love there. That doesn't mean that there isn't fond memories. But not only does the other person change, but we also change. We evolve. And sometimes we just can't. We just can't. But communication is so important. That is always important. So never doubt how powerful communicating is, speaking um, the truth and being, staying on message, trying not to let high drama and emotion take the place of a good conversation. MR, thank you so much for the Cash App, and thank you as always for watching Royal Sussex. Cheers. Thank you very much. But yeah, so Lynn E has set the pace of things. With that, thank you everybody else for being here. Let's get to it, shall we? Um, yeah, I do have it up here. There we go. And I'm going to take myself out of the way. Harry and Meghan news as per usual. And I'm going to lean heavily into the Kate Middleton's cosplay. Because it's been on my mind. As a matter of fact, there's something about the wheelchair thing that has triggered people. I know I was triggered, and it's not so much the idea that that the chair was used in the first place. That's such a small part of what I felt about it, but we'll get into that later. But we got some other stuff to cover first. Hey, Susie Q, Sherry Ware, Faith You, Lorna Williams, Sonia Alexander, Yalibi, Michelle Braithwaite. I'm sure I said that wrong. Martine, Sistren has a few people to say hi to. Amelia Rodriguez, Carmen's Place. Is it Darian Joseph? Okay. And Beverly McCaskill, Joy Amore, Brenda Phillips, B. Martim. Lydia Washington has a few people to say hi to. Lola Love, Rosalind Wade, Brenda Phillips, Jillian, that is, let's see, Monestine? Okay. And Sussex Rising. All right. Sussex Rising. Always does. Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And to the rest of you, welcome. Hello. Thank you for being here. Um, there we go. So this was the other time, not what was it, a couple days ago, Authentically Sussex, copy and paste Wells. The copy and paste Wells was in regard to the let's see, let's take a brief review of that, shall we? Well, that was because of, okay, don't need that. Um, well, anyway, it was in regards to the trip to Wales. They went to that senior place, and all the pensioners were supposedly clamoring all over William, which is a weird storyline to try to project, given the history of the world as we know it and the history of empire and colonization, that you would have these women of African descent supposedly having the hots for William, um, like he's some Hollywood actor coming through there instead of some bougie aristo royal. That by itself is kind of weird, but I'm not even going to go there. All right, so I'm going to go back over here again, and before we get into that, take a look at this. Now, this is the photo that has confounded a few people. As you know, this was from the 805, the 1805, right? And this is father, what's his name, or brother, friar, whatever he is. And the Sussexes took a photo with him, and he posted said photo on Facebook. As you can see at the bottom corner there, you could even see it says, well, it's kind of mixed in with the houndstooth. Is that, no, that's not houndstooth, but the herringbone pattern. But it says Facebook there, something Facebook. Um, so, okay, that's all fine and dandy. Seemed to be a nice guy, very popular. Uh, yeah, but yeah, so, but then people were troubled by what happened to the photo later on. Later on, the photo was, shall we say, altered. It seemed like a great photo of Harry and Meghan, and one of our intrepid Sussex squaddies decided to get rid of him and push the Sussexes closer together, the way it ought to be. Did you guys just hear that echo? That was me. Um, I'm doing a thing here. Probably shouldn't be, but okay. Just wanted to make sure I got that done as well. Okay. Ooh, okay. That's interesting. All right. Give me a second. Let me close a few things so that my PC will be at peak performance, because we definitely don't want that disruption. Okay. And all right. Okay. Hello, B10 Pal. Thank you so much for being here. Okay, close, close. God, I had so much stuff open. By the way, we're just like 13 subscribers away from 42,000. Did you all know that? 13 subscribers away from 42,000 subscribers. Yes, another one of those incredible milestones. As a matter of fact, I have to make sure that I'm ready to do my screenshot, because I like to screenshot those zeros when it rolls over. Always such a good feeling. Always. That never gets old. So okay. Ooh, 12 away. 12 away. Yes. Yes, keep it coming. 12 away. All right, so I'm going to look at that out the corner of my eye. So I won't be distracted, but I will, just full disclosure, I will be looking at that out the corner of my eye. All right. So as I was saying, you all have seen this photo. So this is what happened. It went from this to this. Now, a few people said that was incredibly disrespectful to the pontiff. I even believe Special K Thoughts was like, maybe y'all shouldn't have done that to a man of God. How could you just eliminate him like that? And I was taken aback by that because, as you know, as much a heathen as I can be, I still have certain things I don't like to violate, and the sanctity of this, and the majesty of that. So I decided to give it my work over, and voila, there you go, there you go. I decided to eliminate the background, but there you go. So it went from this to this, and then, of course, this. Now, doesn't that look very, very natural? I mean, it's the natural order of things. They are extremely close, very tactile. They tend to mirror the other one's body language, almost like yeah, almost like twins. They tend to mimic each other's body language. So what God has created, let no man, what is it, what the Lord has created, let no man put us under. Well, there you go. And then, of course, you can't just leave it there. You have to properly frame it, right? So there it is, mounted in a professional frame on a gold leaf backdrop. Perfection. Oh, is there a birthday? Why is it every time I'm crossing over to another 1,000 subscribers, there's someone's birthday? Have you noticed that? Not sometime, every time. By the way, we're just 10 away from 42,000 subscribers. What else would we do? As Oprah would say. Come on out, Tom Cruise. Happy birthday, Leslie F., and many happy returns of the day. As a matter of fact, we got to dance it out, right? We got to dance it out. So, um, where is Ivy? Hello, Ivy here. Hello, Ivy here. Bye for now. Bye from Ivy. Bye. Hello,
Hello,
Ivy
Ivy
here.
here.
Hello, Ivy. Girl, the Duchess of Sussex won. Meet me at the Royal Sussex party. Nelly's gonna be there. All right, Ivy out. You know what? I have not come down from my high yet. As you know, I. All right. Happy birthday, Leslie F. And thank you so much for spending part of your birthday with Royal Sussex. Okay. And many happy returns of the day. Oh, St. Vincent and the Grenadines in 2016. He had such a warm welcome, the same place that Sophie was attacked by the birds. Uh, I did not get that. I did. I don't know when you sent it, but yeah, I'm not so good with the emails, but I will definitely take a look for it. Yeah, I will do that later. But thank you so much for that. That was very thoughtful. Okay. All right. So anyway, That is the photo of the Sussexes. So happy together. So happy together. How is the weather? Da 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 da. Okay, so that was my project. And then here, revealed Fiona Bruce remorseful phone call to question time audience member after she described him as the black guy, as he breaks silence and says he wants to know why the BBC deleted the clip. So apparently, she called to apologize to him, but then they deleted the tweet. Well, they could have just turned the comments off, but they decided to go ahead and delete the tweet. And, you know, I can't help but think one of the reasons why this story is being amplified, and I'm not saying that it shouldn't, because it really should, because it shows that there's a bit of a tone deafness about how to respectfully address people, especially given the history of, racism, slavery, and such. Given that history, one really ought to be careful. And if that means that certain subjects are taboo, certain things should not, you know, certain things shouldn't be said, especially in certain settings and such. The inflection of it. It's not always the word, but it's the inflection. Um, but how about the guy with the blue shirt, or the guy with the beard, or um, anything. You know what I'm saying? The guy with the pink hat, the guy with the gold watch. Something that is less offensive. But the black guy, especially, you know, coming from the someone on the panel or the host, moderator, that is very strange. And I recall, and see, there's a different culture um, between the U.S. and the U.K. I see things sometimes, and I'm just like, okay, that would never happen here, or that would definitely um, cause a bigger problem, right? That person would um, probably get like a suspension or something like that for a while. You know, it's something. There's something more to it, right? And I think right now it's not so much that people in certain circles are bothered by what she said, but that is the BBC. Now remember, the tabloids, in my opinion, the tabloids uh, don't want the BBC around because the BBC has a certain air of credibility. It has diminished over the years, but is seen as a more credible news source in most places in the world. You had CNN, BBC, and of course, sometimes MSNBC. MSNBC's credibility has gone up and back down. CNN's has pretty much sunk to a new low. But CNN used to be considered like an American news, like, the United States news network. Like people around the world thought that Pan Am was the flag carrier for the United States. It never was. We don't have a flag carrier airline like some nations, but people looked upon Pan Am as a representation of the US because it was the first airline that went to places that other airlines could only dream of or took years for them to get there. Eventually Trans World Air and other places, airlines. But same with BBC. I have always looked at BBC as being so credible, only to find out that there has been an attack on the BBC. So, as much as I think that this is pretty tacky, I don't think it should be career ending. I think there should be an apology. Everybody move on. But um, it's going to be amplified by the tabloid media because they want to destroy the credibility, what's left of the BBC. Same with that speech that William gave when he said that Panorama and BBC um, had helped further divide his parents. I'm convinced, in my opinion, I am going to allege that that speech was prepared for him by someone in Kensington Palace, and of course, the talking point of the speech or the points was dictated by the tabloid media. The sooner they can get rid of that BBC, the better off they'll be because then they don't have to compete with them anymore. BBC still gets the largest share of the audience, but just barely. Just barely. Hello, Cookies and Cream. Thank you for being here. All right, let's see here. Now, someone hit something and I wanted to see it, and now I don't know where it happened to it. Oh, there we go. So, Starry says the BBC is propaganda tool for the establishment. It has always been. It's just done up in a bow tie. I'll grant you that. I grant you that. It has been used as a tool of propaganda, but it just seems to have more credibility than the tabloid media. But you're right, it's like the lesser of several other evils, and it has always been a tool for the establishment, a tool for whichever government is in power. But still, it has the reputation around the world of being more credible than most news sources. So, as much as all of that is true, you can't take away the idea of their credibility. I'm not saying that it is a fair and balanced report. Any for-profit, any for-profit news group is going to have some bias. And even though the BBC is like what, a public entity, still you have that. So um, yeah, it's unfortunate because in some cases it's like a good consistent source of information for people who live in countries where they just don't trust their own media. But since we know better and we know what they're capable of, since we know that someone like a Martin Bashir could work there and do the manipulation that he has done to get interviews, then we know better. Heather Anderson says, I am so glad that Meghan and Harry are standing up for themselves. I hope they don't give up. And I agree that the USA is totally different than Great Britain and the Commonwealth countries. Well, yeah, and I'm going to tell you one of the best ways to demonstrate that. And by the way, thank you for your comment. One of the best ways to demonstrate that. Remember when? Oh gosh, Junior, the one, the Cajun singer, not Robert Downey Jr., but anyway, I can't think of his name. Something Junior. The one that was on Will and Grace, he was Grace's love interest. Um, anyway, he went to Australia, and on Australian television, there were some guys that came out and did the Jackson 5 in blackface. And he was absolutely horrified. And he told them flat out while visiting the country of Australia, he said, that's not cool. He said, where I come from, that's definitely not cool. And for the people in Australia, it was Harry Connick Jr. Thank you so much, Carmen Plays, H. Knight, uh, Eric McCormick. No, not quite, not quite. But no, he was a love interest for Grace Adler. But yes, thank you anyway. Well, yeah. So Harry Connick Jr. You got to go and look for that video. He was absolutely horrified because he's on some variety show there, and there he was there to promote something. Oh no, he was to be a judge in a contest. And all of a sudden, here comes these guys out there in blackface, and he didn't hesitate to call them out. And that is one of the big differences, is that here, especially white people that have benefited, have grown up and know better know better, they will call out other white people more frequently than you will see in a lot of places. They'll be the ones to say, "Oh yeah, that was racist," and I'm glad for that we have that. You know, it could never happen enough for my taste, but I'm so glad we have that. I'm so glad that there are some people that, there are some that are just virtue signaling, but then there are others who are just like, you're racist, right? And that's that. And so, if there was ever a moment when I felt, I had my chest full and my head tilted up and my, shoulders back, it was because of that, because it shows the progress of things. It definitely shows the progress of things. Um, and it's just a vast difference. And because I believe that the African American economy is such a powerful force in this country, and because of the numbers, especially in the urban areas, especially in the areas where there's a high concentration of people, um, Black Americans have always been depended upon um, as a swing vote, probably since what, the 40s or the civil rights era of the 60s. If it wasn't for Black people, um, what's his name? Harry Truman wouldn't have won the presidency. He took it because he was vice president to Franklin Roosevelt. But at the time, the media did not actually count Black votes. And so those Blacks who could vote voted for Harry Truman. And Harry Truman, he had made a deal with them. He's like, listen, you vote for me, and I promise you I will desegregate the military. And he did. He did. And it was because of the Black church, another powerful force. The Black church, uh, back in those days, was the focal point of the community. That was that was like the city hall, the courthouse, and everything else for the community, away from the whole of society. And so those churches, they could send people out, vote. And then, of course, the unions, there were Black people paying into these unions. And eventually, increasingly, the unions projected that those numbers. That's why it was so important for Ronald Reagan to tear down the unions, because the unions protected the freedom for Black, white, Asian, Latin, whatever American you were. The unions was our last vestige of hope when it came to protecting our rights in the workplace. And of course, thanks to the likes of Ronald Reagan and Margaret Thatcher, now we've taken this huge step backwards. So, yeah, there's some big differences in the way we approach situations like this. And dare I say that the likelihood that something like this would have happened is greatly reduced, because, you know, I remember when I was a kid, it was boycott this and boycott that. And that was a very powerful tool. That was a way to ensure that people understood that you did not feel uh, you were fairly treated. So that was a very powerful tool. There's just not enough of that anymore. But back in the 60s, the 70s, even up to the 80s before they did such an effective job of destroying unions and such. Um, but even still, the black dollar in the U.S. is still highly sought after. Black votes, highly sought after. So that is the difference. Um, I even said before that if you ever consider outside of the continent of Africa, the African American population in is a very powerful force. Very powerful force. It's like a country within a country. So, okay, that is the difference. So it's unfortunate that this thing happened. I hope it's a teachable moment. I'm not going to condemn the person who said it because that is the environment. That's is okay. It's okay. There's not as much backlash there. It's not as much. Um, there's not many people that will call out the institutions. Not sure why, but um, yeah, it's just not enough of it. So let's see. Pictured question time audience member who Fiona Bruce described as the black guy has as he breaks his silence and reveals presenter called him to say sorry, but he still wants to know why BBC deleted the clip. I cannot see that tweet there, but oh well. She apologized. That's a start. Yes, you in the middle. The black guy. Clumsy, very clumsy, foolish, ignorant. S says things need to change. I keep saying to my husband that I am sick and tired of being sick and tired. I understand, S. I understand. Yeah, racism is like a mental disorder. It really is. All right, so let's get to this. Let's get to this. So someone tweeted the newspaper on the left side there, Princess Wheels. I mean, they're having so much fun with these photos. She'll give anything a try. Well, let's not talk about the past. Um, let's not go there. And then someone else tweeted Kate Middleton wants the attention to herself. What an insult to people with disabilities. This type of stupidity should not be tolerated. This woman has no shame. Abolish the monarchy. Hashtag abolish the monarchy. So I'm glad that people have taken notice. As I said yesterday, I'll say it again today. They really need to focus on the Prince and Princess of Wales because they are the ones destined to inherit. I keep messing with this microphone. I hope that's not annoying to you guys. I'm going to try not to touch it again. But they're the ones who are about to inherit a kingdom. And they are literally being subsidized by public funding to go around and play or cosplay the athlete, the scuba diver, the pottery maker, the table tennis player. At a time of austerity, and by the way, like it or not, winter is rolling in as it always has, and people will be concerned about shelter and heating their homes. And the best that they have to offer to help people prepare for the long, dark winter is cosplay. So, oh, you know what? That one was out of order. I've done that again. Um, I've done that again. I don't trust myself to go back and find this. I'll keep this very brief. Do you remember we were talking about Airbnb yesterday? Anybody remember that? Take a look at this. Airbnb America, biggest US cities have 5.5 million homes sitting empty thanks to the surge in families snapping up vacation properties. Among the 50 biggest cities in the US are 5.5 million vacant housing units. Where the vacancy rates are the highest and lowest, well, the highest is in New Orleans, Miami, Tampa, Birmingham, Riverside, California. Birmingham, Alabama, by the way. And the lowest is Denver, Portland, Washington, D.C., Austin, Texas, and Minneapolis, Minnesota. That's 5.5 million units of housing that is unoccupied on a full time basis. And there are tens of thousands of people in any urban area that's in need of decent, affordable housing. So, like I said, it's not just a issue in the UK or in Europe or Asia. This affects Americans as well, and I think it's an absolute scandal. And they really need to hold these politicians accountable and get some decent, affordable housing online. Now, that's an issue that does not affect me right now, but still, as a human being, I do care, and I think it's absolutely awful. So anyway, didn't want to go past this because I will forget about it. Oh God, I'm still out of order. Well, you know what? Let's go back to Kate soon. Um, Now, I'm not that shady where I'll say, "Ooh, I think you're gonna like this," but "Ooh, I think you're gonna like this." A GoFundMe is about to load in one, two, three. The man who has organizing the ambush of Harry and Meghan at their home is crying out, "Karma has no date." In other words, Andy Signori, is that if I'm saying it right? Actually, I'm in the ER. I'm going flipping blind, waiting for an eye surgery. It's scary as heck. My producers made the video. Since I'm not in studio, the best case won't be able to sit upright and work proper for weeks. I've been warned by an eye surgeon that I may never read again. So, yeah, I'd say it's really bad, friend. And it goes further to say, I'm grateful to my friend and producer, Steph what is it? Alternerd, Steph Alternerd is also helped it also helps my fans to know to send support that I here we go that I need it right now, as well as to share stories to help ease my mind as I face the unknown. I always defend you when folks crap on you. Yeah, crap on you, your family, and all, but all you built. You also have been a truth. Okay, I don't care about all that stuff. Anyway, the mean person is in the hospital. So over here, you can see the other tweet. I'm all for clickbait, but dude, um, oh, someone I'm all for clickbait, but dude, at the optometrist, because of an eye issue, bro, I may have been watching less, etc., but I had genuine concern. It's really bad. Elicits fear and panic for your many subscribers. Maybe a bit much over an eye issue. Hope you get better, though. Yeah. So and I agree. This is like a lot of panic for something that may or may not. Anyway, what is it about the service that he provides through his channel of shadiness? What is it that he provides that is so alarmingly needed by the greater public that if he doesn't come back to work soon, that we all should shudder and uh, wring our hands in despair. Handle your business, and then you can come back and spread hate as soon as you feel better. Let me see. Squad need for forgiveness because my only response to Andy was go fast. Well, Rohini, you know I'm a shady Scorpio, and my Scorpion sensibilities don't allow me to have certain emotions at times that would seem typical or normal in mixed company. So I tend to keep certain things to myself. Oh yes, Leslie F. It is the ancestors. Someone has been calling upon the ancestors. So oh well, he will at least have time to think about the errs of his ways. Okay. Oh, I got a sound bite to play for you. Now this one is like 3 minutes long. As you can see, um, is from Christopher Bosey. This was a speech from the MP Chris Bryant. Discuss our research on the targeted hate campaign against Harry and Meghan during Hacked Off's ninth annual Leveson lecture. Uh, Levinson, that was the judge. Um, yeah, I've heard that Levinson name before. I forget the exact details, but anyway, he mentioned Yankee Wally, Murky Meg, and according to Taz, the um, the axis of evil. Yeah, let's just call them who they are. The axis of evil.
Truth by creating an incentive for untruth. Far from caring about the harmful effects of algorithms, the social media company truth by creating an incentive for untruth. Far from caring about the harmful effects of algorithms, the social media companies and their allies stroke competitors in the press rely on them, I think, to make money. I see three main problems. First, the marketing of hatred. The case of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle forcefully makes the point. The data analyst's bot Sentinel looked at 114,000 Twitter posts about the couple since January 2020 and found two things. Firstly, that 55 accounts had been set up solely to post negative material about them, and 28 more accounts had been set up to amplify those messages. And secondly, that the Twitter algorithm, which suggests people you might want to follow, urged someone who had viewed one hate account or message to follow several others. These 83 accounts were responsible for 70% of the negative content targeted on the couple. One account posted 111,031 messages about them. Bot Sentinel reckons there are 264 single-purpose hate accounts solely targeting Harry and Meghan. To the innocent bystander, it looks like the whole world hates Harry and Meghan. No, there we are. But this is not just ordinary, spontaneous, or altruistic hatred. It is deliberate and coordinated. It uses social media recommender systems to amplify hatred. Like all clickbait, it uses hatred to entice people to follow a link to an article on another client webpage where money is to be made, which is how it knowingly monetizes hatred, as shown by the network of YouTube channels that notched up 497 million views and $3.48 million on the back of hateful and inaccurate material about Meghan alone. 3 YouTube channels, Yankee Wally, Murky Meg, and according to Taz, had more than 70 million views and earned $494,730, all on the back of hatred of Meghan. The same goes for UK newspapers that fill their online sites with hateful Meghan material. It is becoming their richest clickbait seam, apart perhaps from the sidebar of shame on Mail Online. It drives viewing and earns advertising income, which is why so many British opinion writers pen so much drivel about the couple, not because the story matters, it doesn't, not because the writer genuinely cares about it, they don't, but because it makes money. That is not journalism. It's a perversion of journalism. And yet again, it means that the press see other people's lives as commodities to be traded. Truth by creating an incentive for untruth. Far from caring about the harmful effects of algorithms, the social media companies and their allies stroke competitors in the press rely on them, I think, to make money. I see three main problems. First, the marketing of hatred. The case of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle forcefully makes the point. The data analyst's bot Sentinel looked at 114,000 Twitter posts about the couple since January 2020 and found two things. Firstly, that 55 accounts had been set up solely to post negative material about them, and 28 more accounts had been set up to amplify those messages. And secondly, that the Twitter algorithm, which suggests people you might want to follow, urged someone who had viewed one hate account or message to follow several others. These 83 accounts were responsible for 70% of the negative content targeted on the couple. One account posted 111,031 messages about them. Bot Sentinel reckons there are 264 single-purpose hate accounts solely targeting Harry and Meghan. To the innocent bystander, it looks like the whole world hates Harry and Meghan. No, there we are. But this is not just ordinary, spontaneous, or altruistic hatred. It is deliberate and coordinated. It uses social media recommender systems to amplify hatred. Like all clickbait, it uses hatred to entice people to follow a link.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did it loop through? I wasn't paying attention. Oh, I'm sorry. Did it loop through? Sorry about that. Oh, okay. I guess that was already 3 minutes. But yeah, so there you have it. That was based on a report from Bot Sentinel. So roughly $500,000 is how much I think was he said just those three accounts, $500,000, and then accounts to support other accounts. And let us not forget the connection between some of the journalists or pseudo journalists, where they have actually been feeding and receiving and cultivating some of the talking points from the what do you call it? From the derangers, from the haters. And as I feel in my core, I am so sure that whole thing about Harry and Meghan trying to hitch a ride on Air Force One, or was it Harry hitching a ride on Air Force One? As desperately as they would rather be with their children than to have to be over there, none of that makes any sense. But just like with Meghan running for the United States Senate, it's a lie that has been perpetuated over and over again, even after they named a successor for Dianne Feinstein, that person who is going to run for the office in their own right. That did not prevent them from continually insisting that Meghan was seeking the United States Senate. And it's playing on the ignorance of people who just don't know how these things work. The vast majority of people in the United States Senate are going to die in the United States Senate. That's just the way it is. They tend to stay there for a long period of time. And for someone to reach the Senate, you usually would have had some political experience behind you. Also, there is the party dues that must be paid to the people that have been raising funds for the party. There's a whole variety of reasons why it didn't make sense, but yet, for the sake of clickbait, it seems to play on in the tabloid media. Okay. And of course, speaking of tabloid media, Exhibit A, B, and C, and D, and so on. That's just some of them. That's just some of them. Um, but this is how they make their money. They write books to try to keep themselves relevant and to keep themselves in favor with the institution, with the firm. They also go and do these television spots. They do interviews where they will respond to whatever the current events are. They go on the podcast, or they may have a podcast. They go on the talk shows. All of those things that they do to keep themselves relevant and also to serve that institution. And then at some point, they actually end up getting the OBE or whatever honor that comes with their service, like the Witchell guy. I remember he was on television one day and he said, well, the role of the queen is to steady the nerves of the nation during times of trouble and strife. Really? That's it? Because I'd do that job. I'd be willing to take a crack at trying to calm the nerves of the nation. And he had that kind of squinty eye thing going on. And that's where that photo I had comes from, was from that particular moment when he was explaining how the queen steadies the nerves of the nation. And I'm just like, well, if that's happening for 66 million people in Britain, how does the rest of the world get along without the queen to steady our nerves during times of trouble? You know what I'm saying? How does the rest of the world get along? How have we gotten by all these years without having Elizabeth R there to calm and steady to steady our nerves um, during those tumultuous times? How have we survived that? I don't know. I wish somebody would tell me, because now I'm scared all of a sudden, because, well, she's not here to do that anymore, is she?
Don't get it. I don't get any of it.
What do you mean? You don't get what?
I don't get why we're so obsessed with these humans that are exactly the same. Like, it could be us four sitting there. I just don't get it.
But are you talking about what you mean as royals, or as like Kim Kardashian? Because for me, they're
I love
becoming
the
celebrities.
Well, yeah, to me, that's all they are.
The Queen
is their celebrities.
For me, is
I love
brilliant.
the Queen.
I love the
what?
Queen.
No,
For duty, responsibility.
She's always
figurehead.
worked really hard, hasn't
I would
she?
work hard if the whole country paid for me to have like 12 houses and work really hard.
They don't pay for all of the houses, but
Just a few.
I just don't get it. I don't get any of it. Why we support these people? I just don't get it. I don't get any of it. Well, that makes two of us, because I don't get it either. Listen, I'm not a royalist. I have fun with the novelty of monarchy. I do. It's fun. Period dramas, period pieces. But as an African American, there is no component inside of me that says that there's someone that is like should be regarded as a deity just because of their order of birth. I enjoy the idea of knowing that at the end of today, however many children are born in the United States today, that one of them can go on, maybe two or three of them at some point could go on to be president of the United States, the highest office in the land. That is a comforting feeling, to know that any child born in this country could have that possibility of growing up to be president. That's powerful. That's powerful. It's an incentive, even to people who never want it. It's still an incentive knowing what possibilities there are, that you could be the next Bill Gates, or you could be the next Oprah Winfrey, or you can be the next police officer or whatever. But you have those options, and you're not held back by titles and such. So um, there's a divergence at that point. I can't continue on the path once we get to that part of it. That's when I just go, because I'm not feeling all that. I'm really not. The titles are fun. All that stuff is fun, but it's a novelty for me. It's not what I would want for this country. So that's it. And I think people confuse the novelty of it with a full-blooded, full-throated support for the institution. I'm pretty sure that most people in the world feel the same way. I'm glad y'all enjoying it, but it's not for us. It's not our thing. It's not our kink. Lynn E says a similar study needs to be done on the tabloids. Yes, and thank you so much for the super chat. But I'm sure there are some studies out there, but I guess that'll give me some homework to try to access that information. Rohini says, "Oh my God, guys, I just touched the fan and it shocked me. Now my belly hurts. Should be worried. Oh no. Oh, you got a shock, not like a static, but oh, Rohini, be careful. Be careful. Oh my goodness, that is scary. That is scary. Wow. Ugh, yeah. Now I'm having a flashback of the times that I have. Oh boy. It's like when I see someone injure themselves, like a knee or something. It's like the whole rest of the day I keep rubbing my knee, like, oh my God. Yeah. So please be careful. There's so many nice things in this world. I could think of better ways to spend your time than to say, well, the last thing I did was I listened to Royal Sussex, and then I don't remember anything after that. That's not anything I want anybody to wake up to. The last thing I did, I was listening to Royal Sussex, and then all of a sudden, and then I don't remember anything after that. Yeah, so please be careful. And then, of course, there you have the newsstand. I mean, this is a honest to goodness snapshot of a newsstand. And this is what has been fueling the media. When I say that I want the Sussexes to be billionaires, I really do, because they deserve it. Because there's a whole industry that has been supported, that has been uplifted by them. Of course, not not that they wanted that, but that's just the way it ended up. But without their input, these institutions are being elevated. People are financing their new kitchens or paying their mortgage because of this contempt for the Duchess of Sussex, based solely on her race, based on the fact that she's an American, and to a lesser extent because of her being a commoner and an actress. But mostly, I mean, you can see that's not a problem when it comes to Kate Middleton being a commoner. That's well overlooked. So that doesn't seem to be the issue. But there's race is at the center of these attacks. Judith Reynolds says the Royal Institution is rotating to care due to hate. Is that rotating to the care due to hate, racism, jealousy, and revenge? They are a perfect example of how not to live in hate, jealousy, rage, racism, and bitterness. Thank you for that. Okay. TB says, I just don't get it. What is wrong with Britain to where they see the wheelchair thing is okay? Our politicians would have been dragged by the people. Yeah, yeah. I guess I'm not as bothered by the chair as I am bothered by the intention behind it. You understand? It is it by itself it is questionable whether or not one should do that. But then along with that, these um these images and the over exaggerated enthusiasm and excitement that's going along with it, you can tell that it's not, oh, I'm here to learn or bring attention to their problems or their issues or concerns. I'm here so that I can bring attention to myself. And that's it. That's it. This is just all performative. The whole point of it is performative. There was no speech. There was no statement. There was nothing that came after that except for look at how cute she looked sitting in the chair and playing with people with disabilities or special needs. And that was it. There was nothing else added to it. There was no story behind it, no context. So I decided, let me see, because I in my mind's eye, I know that I've seen other occasions where there was the big goofy grin, lots of hair tossing, and then, yay, look at me, right? And there you have it. Yay, look at me. And of course, part of the abuse toward Harry from the institution was to put Kate over, what is she, the patron of the rugby? The patron saint of rugby now? And to make a big spectacle out of it. Why does rugby need a patron in the first place? I don't get all the patronages. I can see if it's for a what do you call it, a charity or such, but to make someone the patronage of football, the patronage of this and that, it is to bring attention to the institution, to the firm, to the monarchy. That's it. That is to insert themselves into the monarchy and to be a part of everybody's life every day. It is a way to mentally make the association that we really can't have this if the royals are not there. That is the association. That is what the monarchy does so well, is to insert themselves in situations that really has little or nothing to do with them. Remember Major Middleton. Don't be surprised if Kate shows up at future events with a ginger wig gone from copying him to trying to be Harry sick. Yeah, at the very least, she is going to have to try to do something with her hair so that she can invoke the emotions and the feelings of the Ginger Avenger. I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised. She will have something that will be directed toward Harry. It'll be something. She'll find some clever way to do it. Thank you so much for your super chat. Okay. Hey, Big Mama. Now, here's another one. Okay, so they hoisted her in the air at the rugby. So let me see. Was that two raised hands at the same event? Yeah. Woo! And then, of course, woo! I just cannot believe that this is okay. And of course, I forgot who the tennis star was. In order to make it about Kate, and this is so insulting that they always try to scream that Meghan is the narcissist, but Kate is trotted out time and time again to make someone's victory about her, about the institution. Why is that? Why does Kate have to be there to pass over the trophy as though she's passing the crown or the baton or whatever? Like she was the one who was last year's winner. They make it about Kate. This is so shallow and superficial. And I mean, just I that is what gets me. It's not so much the chair, but that this able-bodied person is in the chair and celebrating a victory of some sort, a winning shot, a goal, whatever it is, amongst the people who actually do have real life injuries or illness. It's not as though she's in the chair saying, "Oh, this is high." It's not a learning situation. This is all about photo ops. So some people are bothered by the chair itself. I'm not. It's not just the chair, but it is the fact that this is a game, that this makes a mockery of the people who actually need the chair, whose life, their mobility is connected to chairs or prosthetic limbs or crutches, a cane. And here comes able bodied Kate having this big laugh-a-thon and grinning and waving and smiling. There's something odd about that. Even without being in these situations, that Kate is lauded as some type of hero for just being. They have tried every which way possible to show the world business Kate, entrepreneur Kate, the faith healer Kate. You name it. There's so many versions of Kate. All of them are nothing but show, just as hollow, just as shallow as a glass of water. And yet, this is the big celebration. Very odd. Very, very odd. And of course, let us not forget that the only reason why she's there is because of the Invictus Games. This never would have happened if it wasn't for the Invictus Games. And that is insulting to me. That is an affront. The fact that this is only happening because of the Invictus Games, and to really sell the insult, and it is an insult, but to really sell the insult, she goes out there with the big exaggerated moves and the smiling and the laughing, just to make sure that they have the proper photos for the paper. You could see the performance, not just from this, but from every event. There's the performance. It's all performative. Look at the camera, smile, throw your hands in the air, throw your hair back. I cannot understand how this is tolerated, why nobody ever questions the necessity of having those two, and they call the Sussexes the grifters, to have those two in these situations. Go to the food bank and pass out food. Bring food to the food bank. Try to figure out how you can help people heat their homes this winter. And then, of course, there's this one. There's Sarah Everhart. Sarah Everhart was unalived by a Met police officer. And this was one of those pivotal moments when women actually push back against the authorities. And they were acting against the policies of the pandemic. If you notice, everyone except the children are wearing face masks. I mean, we're in deep of the global pandemic. they didn't want people there, not only because, the Met police officer that caused this situation in the first place. I'm pretty sure that was one of the reasons why they didn't want them there, but primarily there was a global pandemic. And Kate decided to put on another performance and to go down to the makeshift memorial in violation of the rules about gathering at the time. So, yes, everyone there is in violation. And a member of the royal family, also someone who essentially is above the law, just goes prancing down there without a face mask. That was the only one that did not have a face mask, except for the kids. They told the people not to show up. And this is what happened.
In the course of her duties, she was working. Of course, in that...
Really, it was legal for her because you think she was there for work?
That they were willing to lie to protect other members of the family, but they weren't willing to tell the truth to protect me and my husband. That they were willing to lie to protect other members of the family, but they weren't willing to tell the truth to protect me and my husband.
Okay, so big thanks to the squatty that put most of this together. I added some background music and a couple things, but this was actually put together by one of the squatties. And as you can see, some of the women were arrested, and dare I say, a few of them were actually beaten by the police, allegedly, for being in violation and being down there in the first place. And then enters Kate, no face mask. Now, mind you, this is in the deep throes of the global pandemic, no face mask. And then, of course, she does not have her name on the police report. For some odd reason, which has not been explained, Meghan's name appears on the police report. Meghan's name appears on the police report, not the English Rose, Meghan's name. Meghan's what, 5,000 miles away? But her name appears on a police report for this occasion when the police instructed the public to stay home. But because of the overwhelming emotion of it, lots of women, lots of girls showed up. They were standing up for Sarah Everhart. And brazenly, Kate goes down there, no face mask, because you got to make sure that you can see her face. Royal protection officers in tow. And then it is said, oh, she was actually working. She was doing her duty as a member of the royal family. She was supposed to be at home. If they were supposed to be at home, she was supposed to be at home. Gabby, I don't know if they ever corrected the report, but it really doesn't matter because the damage is done. The damage is done. It was a way of trolling Meghan by putting her name on it in the first place. The damage is done. I mean, it's not like Meghan has a police record because of that incident, because it was done supposedly in error, and it was just a report of events. It wasn't a report for, to punish anyone. But the whole point of it was, why would you put Meghan's name on the police report when it was Kate who showed up without a mask, escorted by royal protection officers? And then she does a lap around the makeshift memorial, glancing at the cards, trying to sound out the big words, and then she goes home. But you know what happened to some of the other women? They were arrested. They were beaten. And then, of course, there's the white power suit. The one on the left side, that's the one that she wore for the rugby finals or whatever. Of course, to the day when Meghan showed up at the Invictus at The Hague wearing a white suit. That's trolling. That's trolling. That's intimidation. That's bullying. That was deliberate. And then that same white suit was actually worn before, when they had the what do you call it, the Windrush statue unveiling. And curiously enough, the article says the white power suit, Kate in her white power suit. Now, I'm sure that it was supposed to be a statement about the suit itself being a power statement, a business suit, a power suit. They use that term all the time. But for her, it was a white power suit. Take it however you please. Is that deliberate, or was that just by chance that you go to an unveiling for a statue to acknowledge the sacrifice of Black people wearing a white power suit? Odd, very odd choice. Is that a lack of representation in the offices of Kensington Palace, or is there something more sinister going on? I ask you. And of course, the other part of it is, everybody knows that internationally, wearing white is that of a feminist. Meghan wears white as a go-to color because it reflects being a feminist. Hillary Clinton has worn white. Quite a few women who feature themselves as the feminists wear white. And also a slap in the face is the fact that being the Princess of Wales is anything but being a feminist. There's nothing about being a feminist in her bones. And so this too, in my opinion, is yet another mockery. A mockery of two of the above mentioned, three of the above mentioned, or maybe just one. I'll let you decide. Like I said, this has been bothering me. And then, of course, the Duchess of Cambridge recycles white Alexander McQueen coat dress. So there was the big debate. Did she wear white to the wedding of Harry and Meghan, or did she not? Now, truthfully, the hat is always confusing because it has a bit of a hue to it that appears to be yellow in some photos, like the one that says 2018, somewhat pink for 2016, but consistently it is the same drab, boring coat dress. That much I'm sure of. Now, Thrifty Kate strikes again. Yes, she strikes again. Duchess of Cambridge recycled white Alexander McQueen coat dress. We've seen 4 times already for surprise attendance at the Anzac Day service. Duchess of Cambridge recycled a white Alexander McQueen coat today. Kate, 40, first wore the outfit for Princess Charlotte's christening in 2015. She has recycled dress on other occasions, such as Trooping the Colors in 2016. Yes, she has. The same. Now, it's not a super white. It's not, a bright white. It seems to have a bit of a tone to it. And depending on the surroundings, it looks a different tone. But right there on the steps of St. George Chapel, it looks white in comparison to the hat, which is, barely yellow. And I don't know if it's the hat or if it's just those blossoms that emerge from under the hat, but that is clearly a white dress at a wedding with nude shoes. That is Kate at Pippa's wedding. That is Kate at Eugenie's wedding. As a matter of fact, you can see here Zara's wedding, Pippa's wedding, Sophie's wedding, Eugenie's wedding, Meghan's wedding. There's only one of them where she showed up looking like she could be the bride. Right? Well, not exactly, but you get what I'm saying. There's only one, and that was for Meghan's. Not by chance. Not by chance. And then, of course, leading up to that, well, we know this happened, right? We didn't know this at the time, but Charlotte's dress, well, let me translate it for you. And then Meghan says, what's that? Charlotte's dress is too big, too long, too baggy. She cried when she tried it on at home. Oh, okay. And then, of course, Meghan replied, right, I told you the tailor has been standing by since 8 a.m. Here at KP. You can take Charlotte to have it altered as the other moms are doing. Which translates, no, all the dresses need to be remade. And then Meghan says, I'm not sure what else to say. If the dress doesn't fit, then please take Charlotte to see AJ. He's been waiting all day. And so there you go. That happened before the wedding. And then, of course, Kate shows up wearing a white dress. I can't help but recall the fact that Oprah Winfrey was going to wear something and changed her mind in the 11th hour because she said, no, that looks too close to white. So she ended up going with like a rose color. But Kate, well, Our Lady of High Breeding and Standards decided to best insult the bride-to-be by wearing white on someone else's wedding day. Right out of the Camilla playbook. Right out of the Camilla playbook. So let me pull this down because I can't see it. After setting up a time to speak later that afternoon, Harry writes that Kate complained Charlotte's dress is too big, too long, too baggy. She cried when she tried it on at home. Meghan snapped back, right, I told you the tailor has been standing by since 8 a.m. here at KP. Can you take Charlotte to have it altered as the other moms are doing? According to Harry's version, which is the only one that matters to me, of events, Kate replied, translated, no, all the dresses need to be remade, and said, I'm in the mood to drag simply because it pleased me. Okay, no, all the dresses need to be remade, and said she had discussed the issue with her own wedding designer who agreed. So you mean to tell me you had a wedding designer standing by on Meghan's wedding day? Did you go through the trouble of sending images of the dress on Meghan's wedding day? But it doesn't stop there. Kate Middleton once once again channels Meghan Markle with camel coat to visit Ukrainian center. Yeah, she did. She did that. Of course, that is a Meghan thing. Meghan, I don't know how many of those coats that she has. Well, either she's missing one or Kate went and bought one for herself. And there you go. There you go. Full of toxin and poison and shade. There she goes, wearing the camel coat, making sure that everybody knows that she has a camel coat. Yeah. Of course, it doesn't really cause an uptick in sales, but it's just enough shade to be shady. And this is interesting. I'm not sure you guys have ever seen this before, but Kate Middleton's dress was inspired by Wallace Simpson. It is she they used to compare to Wallace Simpson, mostly because of that rather straight up and down body type, but that is the one that they used to compare to Wallace Simpson. She has had several dresses that seem like they were taken out of the Wallace Simpson wardrobe. Not Meghan, Kate. And the other person who has been compared to Wallace Simpson is, of course, Pippa, who bears a striking resemblance to Wallace Simpson. You can see that in the center photo right there. It's Pippa that looks like Wallace. And I would say both sisters seem to have the same body type. But yeah, she is the original Wallace Simpson. And this one, I'm pretty sure some of these or most of them you have seen before, but you just kind of forgot about them because it's been so much of it. Never believed in the whole Kate copying Meghan until now. Fans spot striking similarity. What similarity? It's the same hat. It is the same hat. It says similar hat, or some are suggesting the Princess of Wales copied Duchess of Sussex. It's more than a suggestion, it's stalking. It's stalking. This has got to stop. This has got to stop. And it doesn't matter whether or not Meghan is paying attention to it. I hope she's not. But none of this is done without a reason. And anybody who is encouraging this behavior are also in the wrong. Anybody who's encouraging this also need to be called out on it. It's wrong. And then bring the child into it. Bring the child into the whole thing. This is the one where Omid Scobie actually pixelated the photo because he didn't want to show the image of a child in his tweet. Was the Great Royal Burgundy Parade a cheeky swipe at Meghan? Why are we even having this conversation? Why? Why is this a thing with a supposedly adult woman encouraging her extended family, including her daughter, to have her daughter and the rest of the family show up in Burgundy because Meghan mentioned the fact that she avoided wearing colors that stand out, so not to create conflict. So rather than just ignore that, Kate decides to go on the attack. And this is an affront. Bring the child into it. Copy strikes again. How about the very touching moment in the docuseries where Meghan sees her old school teacher? They must have combed the countryside, every town hall record that they could find, so that they could get this old man to somehow spontaneously appear out of nowhere for the big embrace. This might be new to some of you all. This might be new to some of you all, which is why I thought it was important. I thought it was important because a lot of people don't understand what the fuss is about. A lot of people don't have, any memory of this because, maybe you were not so in touch with the Sussex squad. Maybe you were just one of those people that was like, wow, this is strange the way they keep reporting on her, Meghan, that is. This really did happen. So on the left side, Meghan sees her old school teacher from whatever that place was, Little Red Schoolhouse, whatever. And then, of course, they orchestrate, Kensington Palace orchestrates this. Oh, hey, I haven't seen you since. Kate hasn't changed one bit. She's wonderful. Princess's old history teacher heaps praise on consciousness. I'm sorry, on contingent. You know what I'm trying to say. I'm having trouble with that. And exuberant royal after pair meet for the first time in decades. Meets for the first. He just happens to be there. He just happens to be there. How is that possible? And of course, the big embrace. I know. If you guys are getting exhausted, you can go ahead and leave. I got a few more of them. This might um, this might tax on your nerves. I won't be offended if you leave. But I just want to make sure that we understand what is happening here. The difference in the two pictures really stand out to me. A whole different energy, says someone on Twitter. The ambiance, atmosphere, and the environment, just everything. One looks very comfortable and the other not so much. One looks comfortable and the other not so much. I don't need to tell you who it is or why it is. It's when you're not being authentic. When you're not being authentic, it's very difficult to pull it off. You know what I'm saying? To actually achieve the desired effect. Artwork, fresh flowers. The only thing is, one of them has books, and the other one doesn't. One of them tends to be an avid reader, and the other one not so much. Now, of course, at this point, as we often do, we decided to reach out to Kensington Palace for comment.
Obviously, it'd be. I would love to have met her, and she's obviously she's an inspirational woman to look up to. Obviously, to this day, and going forward and things. It is. It's a wonderful family. The members who I've met have achieved a lot, and very inspirational. So, yeah, I do.
What do you do, girl? What do you do? What are you doing? What do you do? Yeah, I do. Meghan Markle sets bar so high with podcast, Kate's radio stint is no real comparison. You could say that again. Kate's radio stint is no real comparison. What was that? No real comparison. Gotcha. I just wanted to hear myself say it again. And then, of course, there's this. If this was Meghan, that not once, not twice, but repeatedly went around, I put those red bars there for a reason. If that was Meghan instead of the English Rose, this is a game, by the way. This is a game. There is no way that this is by chance. Okay, once, all right. Twice, that could happen. I could see that. But several times in the early days, I cannot tell you how many times that we didn't seen people's business that should be kept sacred, very close to home, is all over the place. If that was Meghan, there would be hell to pay. They'd never stop talking about it. Thank you, Maya Dino. Thank you. And then I'm going to share this with you because I'm getting some things off my chest. I look in the comments on Royal Sussex and I keep hearing people referring to Meghan as the yacht girl. The yacht girl. Maybe some of the moderators have seen that reference. I have yet to find a photo of Meghan on a yacht, but I know who was on the yacht. I know who they mentioned in the papers. Forging of a Princess, how generations of steely social climbing matriarchs shape Kate Middleton's character. There are even some very interesting stories from the yachts. But I'm too much of a gentleman to share them. The corporate clients loved her, especially the way she always seemed to be showing off her slender legs and tight blue shorts as she served gin and tonics and lunch. This was in the Daily Mail, by the way. Look at that. That's from 2011. She was working as a deckhand on a 72-foot sailing boat in the Solent, looking after important clients for mighty companies such as Barclays, BT, Nokia, Toshiba, and Volkswagen. But I keep seeing Meghan referenced as the yacht girl. You see how they try to gaslight? You see how they try to brainwash? How they try to force feed this idea of Meghan having the dodgy past. I can close my eyes and I cannot see certain images of Meghan in my mind's eye that I have seen of this one. And yet, I don't know if it's the bots. I don't know if it's the derangers, but I keep seeing references of Meghan on the yacht. That yacht girl. And so they're trying to swap identities. They want us to associate Meghan to the yachts and not Kate. I don't care that she was on the yacht. I don't care about her. But stop trying to do this good versus evil, Coke versus Pepsi, right and wrong, left and right, up and down. They keep doing these comparisons and then they try to swap the history. I'm showing you right here from 2011. This was in the Daily Mail, the paper that has lent so much protection to Kate Middleton. They're the ones who said it. April 18th, 2011. There's your yacht girl, not Meghan. But they keep pushing that narrative. I don't know where it stems from other than hate, but I keep seeing that in the comments. That's not Meghan's history. Meghan has a fine education that she's used professionally. She didn't need the yachts. She didn't summer on the yachts. That was the other Duchess. So just to say I did, I'm just putting it out there. When you see that, do know that this is where it comes from. And of course, I don't want to skip by the one on the right side. So cheeky. And look at that. That's from 2019. So cheeky. Kate Middleton was nicknamed Kate Middlebum at boarding school after jokingly flashing her bottom. Well, don't everybody do that? I think today I just threw my behind over the windowsill. Everybody do that, don't they? That's what we're led to believe. I mean, I could be in the grocery store and all of a sudden I'm like, you know what? They need to see my behind. I think they want to see my behind. I mean, yes, this is the produce section, but what better place to do it? Right? Don't everybody do that? You're riding along in the car and all of a sudden you flash your bottom at everybody? Don't everybody do that? Don't every future queen do that? Every member of the royal family has a history of flashing their bottom or flashing other body parts. Doesn't everybody do that? Joan Lawman, thank you so much for the super sticker. And thank you so much for watching Royal Sussex. And also thank you for being a member. Greatly appreciate it. So I'm just clearing the air. I'm just explaining that they are trying to swap the history. They're trying to trade the storyline. They need to do as much as they can to try to muddy up Meghan's history, because eventually this may come up again, say next Coronation Day. If I have anything to do with it, it will. I don't care how sanctimonious the occasion. I will be out there to make sure that everybody remembers Kate Middlebum or the yacht girl. How dare they insinuate that Meghan spent her summers on the yacht? And some of the derangers have gone onto my timeline with that nonsense. But here's proof right here from a friendly source, the Daily Fail, Lord Nappyhead's paper, the racially ambiguous media mogul, Lord Nappyhead, of whom origin is not clearly specified, but y'all need to read about his mama. She was a trip. So when I'm done here today, guess what I'm going to do? I am going to expose my behind outside of the window, because that is the only way I can ensure that I will marry into the royal family. I am going to expose my behind for all to see. And then I'm going to lay out on the yacht like a big scoop of pralines and cream under the hot blazing sun of the Mediterranean with the likes of Volkswagen, Toshiba, Nokia, BT, Barclays. That's what I'm going to do. Doesn't everybody do that? Let them tell it. How sexy Kate Middleton flashed her nude bum to male students who passed her second-story dorm window 90 times and earned moniker Kate Middlebum. Wow, isn't that interesting? They made it seem like it was just once. It's amazing she hadn't got pneumonia out of behind. I'm pretty sure that was a year-round thing. At 13, Kate Middleton, the future Duchess of Cambridge, was a mousy bookworm. Oh, come on now. Wait a minute. A mousy bookworm? A mousy bookworm? Now, you know that's made up. You know that's made up, and I got proof. Where the books? Where the books? Where's the books? I don't see any books. A mousy bookworm? Anyway, the alleged mousy bookworm who was bullied at school. Her looks, that is, were judged a 2 on a scale of 1 to 10 by a group of, what is that? I'm not sure I can say that word. Okay, tittering adolescent boys. I'm not sure what that's implying, but that must be one of those Middle English words or whatever. But whatever the case may be, the Immaculate Heart of Kate Middleton, the future queen consort, had a propensity of throwing her somewhat unfleshy, unadorned behind out the window. Okay, so at Marlborough College, a boarding school, she kind of got addicted to mooning. Wow. Schoolmate Jessica Hay told author of new book, when she met William at St. Andrews, the first encounter was awkward and mercifully brief. When she first met William at St. Andrews, their first encounter was awkward and mercifully brief. God, you mean to tell me they make it sound like the girl was like, "Oh, you're Prince William? Oh, I just realized I got a thing, but nice to meet you." Yeah. This is how he ended up with Kate, by the way. Nobody else wanted him. When I tell you that nobody else wanted William, they said that William had actually broke up. Remember how he kept breaking up with her? He was trying to send a signal to the other aristocratic people, the women, their families, that he was available and looking for a new Princess of Wales, a future Princess of Wales. And everybody was like, nope. And so that's why it took 10 years of waiting around to get William to realize that nobody else was interested. That's the real sad part about it is here you're about to inherit a fortune and nobody else was interested. Nobody. There were no buyers. There was nobody willing to take him on. By the way, you guys, Royal Sussex has just rolled over to 42,000 subscribers. Yay! Okay. So the prince paid £200 for for a front row seat when Kate modeled in St. Andrew's annual charity fashion show. William cheered the loudest when she appeared at a sexy fashion show in a white lace bra. I'm surprised she needed one, but a white lace bra and bikini panties. Camilla was not on Team Kate and was instrumental in their 2007 breakup, author claims. Well, why doesn't that surprise me? Why? And I don't see why she would want to, try to throw a monkey wrench in there because there was nobody else that was interested. So take a look here. Two of the most exciting people, I'm being sarcastic. NBC scales back its royal wedding coverage because William and Kate are so boring. They are so boring. And that was from 2011. You know, I think that was right before or after the wedding. Before the wedding, likely. They scaled back the coverage. Even at that time, we haven't seen a royal wedding of that magnitude since, I guess, 1981. And here's some 30 years later. We have been starved of a big royal wedding for 30 years. And yet, NBC was like, yeah, bring a few people back. Yeah, we won't need that. The next big wedding didn't come until 2018. And you know why. So, America resists royal wedding fever, evidence that Americans are not interested in the royal wedding, thanks to a poll by CBS and the New York Times. So, there you go. That was the 23rd of April, 2011. That was the story. That there isn't much of a story to cover. Nobody's interested and nobody cares. Dull and duller. Dull as dishwater, as boring as could be. Nobody was interesting. And all these years later, some um, what is it, 13 years, 12 years later, William is still trying to get the attention of Americans. Right. And of course, Meghan made Kate cry. We find out that that was a big lie. So the institution has been rigged. I can't believe I'm using that word. Rigged against Meghan from the very beginning. From the very beginning. And as someone mentioned earlier in the spaces, it's a good thing that they were so tenacious in their attacks on the Sussexes, because if they would have done the slow boil, then they may have gotten stuck. You know what I mean? They may have gotten stuck. But by them being so vicious, so fast, and so often, that pretty much sealed it right there. As Harry said, we're up, we're leaving, we're out of here. So this was from one of the magazine or newspaper articles, how Meghan's situation actually resembles some type of fairy tale. You have the knight in shining armor, you have the beautiful princess, and of course, you have the evil sister in law or stepsister, you have the fairy godmother, and of course, you have the wicked witch of the devil. Isn't that what the lady from the island said? The wicked witch of the devil? Well, she was right. The wicked witch of the devil. And I love Prince Harry. Harry's no monster. Charles. Charles is the monster, not Harry. And he's bringing it out in his book right now. As a matter of fact, where is the lady from the islands? Where is she? And I'm from the islands. And the British people, they what does she say? They're stupid for putting up with this nonsense. Give the people their money back. How come I can't never find that when I'm looking for it? Let me try this. Oh. Yep, he's bringing it out in his book right now. Okay. All right, lady from the islands, where are you hiding? Where are you hiding? I had no idea that I was going to bring her up today. And I love Prince Harry. Aha, there it is.
Prince Harry, and Prince Harry should be king. He should be king. Prince Harry, not William. William and all of them in there, Camilla is the wicked witch of the devil himself, because she is part of why Princess Diana is not here. I do not like them. I am from the islands, and we don't need them in the Caribbean. Get lost. Demolish the monarchy. This is 2023, okay? And I will support Harry 100%. I do feel for him. Yes, I do. And everything in the book is the truth. And Charles is the monster, not Harry. Harry is no monster, not Meghan. He's bringing the story out right now. They are evil people. They are not nice. Behind the wall, we all are one human being, and behind that wall there are no difference with me and you and any other Brits. Give the people back the money. They are just welfare recipients living off the taxpayers of the British people, and the British people are stupid supporting that nonsense monarchy. It is nothing. It's just a title. It means nothing. A title. I'm angry at them.
Yeah, when she says putting up with that nonsense, my shoulders go up. I'm like, wait a minute, I didn't have nothing to do with it. Anyway, on the brighter side of things, Meghan and Harry left that institution. They moved off to California. Meghan gave them a lovely lesson in dressing as a royal princess, as evident by the I think that was a Beckham dress there. And of course, I forgot who made that one, but the green cape dress. Yeah, she decided that on the way out the door, we are going to have a splash of colors. And that's exactly what happened. They got a splash of color. And that fitting of the dress, I didn't see that photo until recently, but I love that image right there. And then, of course, yeah, we're out. And I love that on the way out, she was smiling and beaming and full of cheer and good riddance. Goodbye. Yeah. And then, of course, with the colors removed, I just wanted to focus on the outfits, the green and the red, and that I guess is that turquoise, or it's almost like Tiffany, But yeah, just to highlight the silhouette, the colors. Those are three colors that I will never forget in combination for that weekend. I'll never forget that. That is emblazoned on my memory forever, etched in my memory. And this, and I think, is this the last one? Oh, got a couple more. Oh, we'll lie for money and attention. I have other grandkids, too lazy to get a job. I screamed when I saw this on the interweb, but whoever did this I am going to build a shrine to you later. This was right on the money. Perfect. Sometimes you just get it right. You know what I mean? So thank you, whoever was able to put this together. This is the best thing I've seen in a while. It's so poignant. It's so honest. It's brutally honest. It's like when you peel back the layers. Those are the things that pop out. Thank you, iBrownie, for the super sticker. And thank you for watching Royal Sussex. Or is it one brownie? iBrownie, one brownie? Anyway, not too much. Anyway, thank you all. There's our queen right there. And there's our other queen right there with the forget-me-nots. And of course, Meghan's nickname from childhood, Flower. Flower. And with that, you all, I am done. I hope that for the new people in the squad, I have illuminated things for you, because it wasn't really clear to some people why the whole thing with the chair was such a trigger. And again, for myself, I'm going to say it's not only the chair, but it is a trend that has been going on for far too long. Is abhorrent behavior. It's childish. It's stalking. It's a lot of things that I think is, at this point, it is old, and it just needs to stop. Yeah, but it needs to stop. What's that? Anastasia says, I was laughing at the fact that fashion experts were saying that Kitty dress was original, but it wasn't, because she copied the wedding dress from Princess Isabella, Maryland. Well, also, it was pretty much the same as Grace Kelly. It was the same as Grace Kelly's. I would say, I haven't seen Princess Isabella's, but I've seen Grace Kelly's, and if you compare them, and I have the photo, but it would be a bit much for me to try to bring it up right now. But I have those photos, and you can see side by side, you can see a major reference to Grace Kelly. It's a very what Kate wore was very common. The lace layered over the, I guess it was silk or whatever. That was a very common cut, and it was a beautiful gown. It was a beautiful gown. It was modest. It fitted well and everything. It was a beautiful gown, but it was nothing original about it. There was nothing original about it. There's nothing original about Kate. Kate doesn't just copy off of Meghan. It seems as though she sees someone wearing something, and immediately she wants one for herself. But the thing is, the frequency of her sending these messages, if you ask me, across the pond, is disturbing. It seems so methodical, as though it was well thought out, that it seemed orchestrated and planned to keep the I guess the fight, the struggle, the disagreement, whatever it is, to keep whatever it is going. The Sussexes have moved on. Meghan is not looking back. She's going forward. And yet you have someone in a very public position. It would look so strange if any woman who found themselves on the world stage, as Kate has, it would look so strange for any other woman to do such a thing. It would look very strange. But because of the protection racket known as the British media, because of that, nobody says anything. The American media is not going to bother with it because it's childish and stupid. There's a lot of things, like sometimes when you'll see the British media will flood the airways with, Biden couldn't figure out how to get off the stage. And yet you never see it on the American media. Only the Fox Newses of the world would talk about it. But the little mistakes like that, they don't concern themselves with it. So they certainly won't concern themselves with how Kate is copying off of Meghan. But I kind of wish they would, because maybe then it would stop. If you name it and shame it, maybe they'll stop doing that. But if you Google certain things, if you're looking for Meghan in this or that outfit, part of it, I believe, is so that, just like a stalker, you're going to have images of Kate Middleton popping up alongside it. So it has an intention, and it's a sinister, devious intention. And it needs to stop. I mean, if you truly want to move on, or should I say, forget about the Sussexes, then stop doing that. Just stop doing it. So somebody needs to call them out. So, yeah, like just now, I Google Meghan Markle tan coat, and guess who else pops up? Guess who else pops up? You see what I mean? Go ahead and do that. Google Meghan Markle tan coat and see who else pops up. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, I have a list. Thank you so much. Let me see here. All right, thank you very much for your very generous donations today. Thank you. Thank you, Lynn E, for the super chat and super sticker. Thank you, YM Droid, for the super chat. It was right. Joan Lawman, I Brownie or One Brownie, and also thank you, MR, for the Cash App earlier. Thank you very much. Yeah, that's true, Lola Love. Now William wants in on it. It's the only way that they could stay relevant. You would think that they would be embarrassed at this point, but they don't have enough sense to be embarrassed. They don't have enough sense. They don't have enough integrity. They don't have enough of anything, enough honor or decency to be embarrassed. Yeah. You know, and I hope that this, as sinister as it is, I hope it's only a superficial thing. I hope that there's not anything else further behind it. If you understand what I'm saying, I hope it's just limited to being this act of nonsense, because you just never know. You never know. I mean, there has been implied threats from the media. You never know what it means. I think it's all very superficial, silly, but yet constant. Yeah, Catherine Bryan, that's a good question. That's a good question, because at a certain point, they're going to have to, at least I hope they will. It hasn't happened for Camilla because she's still up to her games. But at a certain point, you would think that they would move on. The royal family would move on from all of this vitriol, but yet they continue. So But the one that really got to me was the yacht thing. I'm just like, that is so made up. That is projection of the worst kind. That is the worst type of projection. You know, it would be one thing if it was true, but it's certainly not true. That's the other one that you're talking about, not Meghan. Meghan's no yacht girl. Kate's the yacht girl. I have to say it like the island woman. Meghan's no yacht girl. Kate's the yacht girl. And the British people are so stupid for putting up with this nonsense. Give the people back their yacht girl. Oh man. Yeah. See, you have to say it like the woman from the island because people listen to her. You know what I mean? When she's like letting them have it, my shoulders go up. I'm just like, don't be mad at me. I get all nervous and anxious. Let's see. Louise Narcissus says, thank you, Baron and Sussex family. Great podcast. God bless everyone and may he shine his light upon us and protect us all. Grace and mercy to you. Good night, everyone. Church starts in 8 hours for me. Well, you know what? Louise, that is a great way to end today. Thank you very much. And I will close with that. Thank you. That closes it out for us. All right. Love you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you for hearing me out. It's not your imagination. It's not by chance. It's by design. But the Sussexes are going to be, let's see, today is the 7th. So on the 10th, they're going to be in New York City. And we will be here rooting for them. We will share whatever photos are available. And I'm looking forward to it. Worry not, everything is going to go extremely well. I am putting my faith in Harry to make sure that they are safe. And well, I tell you what, he hasn't let us down so far. They had one little hiccup with that thing that no one could have seen coming, but we're back on track. That's the thing. We're back on track. We're not going to dwell on that. Everything went so well with the Invictus games. I don't ever want to stop thinking about it. I mean, every day I'm just like, wow, that really did happen. So I think that this is a period of availability like we haven't had since they jumped across the pond. And so we will do our part by being there in prayer, sending our positive energy and such, calling out the evildoers. That'll be our part of things. And also to be here to reassure one another, which is equally important. So thank you. And well, thank you very much, Sherry Ware. Thank you for being a part of this experiment with the social media. See you in another 1,000, right? Or tomorrow. Yes, thank you, Mary and M. Appreciate that. All right. Okay, so that's it. Let's close with the Ginger Avenger. And tomorrow we'll finish getting excited about Tuesday. We'll continue to get excited about Tuesday and whatever else we have to share. But yeah, that's going to be a good thing. All right. See you tomorrow. I'm in the mood to drag simply because they annoy me. And if they ever annoy me, I'm in the mood to drag. Kate keeps wearing white suits and William with a baseball cap. Okay. The only thing that rhymes with cap might have the authorities upset, so I'm not going to say it. Let me see. Yes, the 2016 pictures of Harry and St. Vincent and make them a short. Okay, I'm going to have to remember to look for that. And St. Vincent. That doesn't ring a bell, but I know I've probably seen it already, so I'll look for that. All right, so we're out. I'm in the mood to drag.
My wife and I. My wife and I. For me and my wife. I'm so proud of my wife. My incredible wife. And an amazing wife. The soulmate in my wife. Thank you, my love. The mother to my children. The love of my life. My wife. My wife and I. My wife and I. For me and my wife. I'm so proud of my wife. My incredible wife. And an amazing wife. The soulmate in my wife. Thank you, my love. The mother to my children. The love of my life.